Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I am trying to record this for the millionth time again. Somebody needs to make these at their own house and upload them. That's my dogs. Hanging out. Hey Fitz, hey Steve. Anyway, here we go. So, yesterday you should have turned in your day 5 notes. They look pretty good. I hope you guys watched both the videos. It looked like, again, only about 50 views, so that shows me that, you know, a third of us are hopefully just reading on their own and figuring it out. All right, so we're gonna start by first going on to the stream. Sorry, my dog is like rolling around being crazy. We're gonna log into our stream on Google Classroom, and we're gonna write here, because if I have to text one more person to say hi right here on Google Classroom, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's the easiest way to do attendance for us and to see that you guys looked at your assignment for the day. I know some people, when you have other things going on, you shoot me a message on Remind, and that's totally cool. You just gotta get it done by 4:30 in the afternoon. Okay. After we check in on stream, we are clicking on classwork. We are opening day 6. It should be this beautiful red wooden PowerPoint slideshow, whatever we're gonna call it. Today it says that the whole lesson should cover pages 40 to 46. We're only gonna read 40 to 43, so not a long day today at all. All right, slide 2, click to it. We got our words. Again, last week some people bombed the vocab quiz because you probably weren't going to vocabulary.com and studying your words. So the 5 words of this week are savvy, appeal, incredulous, hesitation, and rebellious, okay? Vocabulary.com will save you. It will make sure you've mastered these words, and you know, if you want more practice, I've told you guys how to get to Greek and Latin roots on there. It's great for your high school application process. If you have to take a placement test, vocabulary.com is perfect, right? Felt like Mr. LeBruno doing that. Okay. Click to our next slide. We are on slide 3. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I drank coffee at 4 o'clock, so I'm like ready to go right now filming this. I feel wide awake. We're going to start today with 10 lines. I don't know if we can all count to 10, right? 10 lines, we got it, about a time when you had a bad dream. So for example, last night I had this really bad dream that I had to, you know, travel in a storm. I was like going on an airplane, and then once I got to wherever I was, I couldn't get back home, right? So I could, you know, I could definitely write 10 lines in detail about how that dream it made me feel. And then what did I do afterwards? So for me, a lot of times if I wake up from a bad dream, I try to go back to sleep and like have a better dream or fix what happened in the dream. I don't know if anyone else does that. I kind of feel weird admitting that to y'all right now. Okay, so write 10 lines. Pause this video if you need to for a second to get those lines down. But again, this is my favorite part of the day, so don't skip this. Don't go on to anything else. Sorry, you're hearing my door open and close. Stevie just went for a walk, and Fitz is sad. You wish you could go with her, Fitz? Did you want to go for a walk? You didn't? He didn't. Okay. He did. He's leaving. I hope this is entertaining. I really hope like anyone is watching this. Nobody has told me that they're watching it or made comments besides like Nathaniel or Minor. Shout out to y'all. And Justin. Shout out to Justin. He asks for a Zoom every day, but he doesn't do his notes. So I can't have a Zoom unless you do your notes. And that's the tea. This is what your reading teacher acts like after 7 weeks of being alone and teaching to a camera placed on her wall. Okay, enough about all that. I hope your journal's done. We're gonna read now. You guys should click to slide 4. We only have 3 questions today. Number 1, we're gonna stop and jot what we do best. We're gonna stop and jot What are some problems we're noticing? And we're going to stop and jot some character motivations. 2-Bit is going to be motivated to act a certain way. Pony is going to be motivated. Cherry is going to be motivated. So we got just a few sentences to jot down. No real text evidence is needed here. All right, number 2. This is an answer and evidence question. What does Cherry mean, or what motivates her, to say it's not personal? I hope you guys are, even before we read today, when you see that phrase, you know that anytime someone says, it's not personal, but they're personal, right? That's a personal thing that they're gonna say. So Cherry is about to be pretty offensive in today's section of our text. All right, what are we at? And number 3, the last question you're responsible for today. What does Ponyboy mean when he says, I wished I was dead and buried somewhere? So we know in the text, guys, he doesn't literally mean that, right? We have literal meaning and a deeper meaning or figurative meaning. What would you mean if you said, oh, I wish I was dead right now, or I was buried somewhere? What are his real emotions in that statement? And that's it today, right? 3 questions. I don't think it's asking a lot. We are gonna get started to read. We are gonna get started on our reading. I really hope nobody else besides you guys watches this. Like, if another adult from PRCS is watching this, they are like roasting me right now. Like, if Miss Block is watching this, she's like, wow, you need to get back into the classroom. All right. I am scrolling to where we left off in the video yesterday. And I kind of forget. I think it was the bottom of 39. Yeah. Bottom of 39, top of 40. So 2-Bit, he saw the socials kind of roll up. He saw there were a lot of them. Excuse me, and he makes a comment, you know, that he wants to fight, but he realizes that he's outnumbered and that he's gonna get hurt if he fights them. He says, the text says, he snatched an empty bottle, he busted off the end, and he gave it to me. Then he reached in his back pocket and flipped out his switchblade. Try it, pal. All right, that character action is pretty important right there, right? 2-Bit is motivated to fight. He pulls out a knife, right? If somebody pulls a knife, we know that they want to fight. Does Ponyboy get his own weapon out? No, right? 2-Bit handed him a weapon. So in your head, you should be thinking, Ponyboy isn't motivated to fight. He has to be handed this weapon, right? If he grabbed a bottle on his own and he busted it and he was ready to fight, yeah, it would show he wanted to fight right then and there. Okay, so we can jot that down for motivation. So we know 2-Bit does want to fight, Ponyboy doesn't. We can also jot down for problem. The problem is that they're getting into a fight right there. All right, let's keep reading. I lost my tab. No, Cherry cried. Stop it. She looked at Bob. We'll ride home with you. Just wait a minute. Why? 2-Bit demanded. We ain't scared of them. Cherry shuddered. I can't stand fights. I can't stand them. I pulled her to one side. I couldn't use this, I said, dropping the pop bottle. I could never cut anyone. I had to tell her that because I'd seen her eyes when 2-Bit flicked his switch. Anyway, we now have Cherry's motivation. So what is Cherry doing in this scene? Don't fight, right? She's trying to break them up. She's upset. So she is motivated to end the fight and decides, I'll ride home with these drinking boys if it will keep people from stabbing each other right now in the street. Both are dangerous situations. She probably shouldn't have gotten in the car with them. Okay. Now we're ready to move to number 2. See or no? Yeah, we got problem and motivation. So number 2 says we're inferring why does Cherry say it's not personal just now? I know, she said quietly, but we'd better go with him, Ponyboy. I mean, if I see you in the hall at school or someplace and don't say hi, it's not personal or anything, but I know, I said. We couldn't let our parents see you with y'all. You're a nice boy and everything. It's okay, I said, wishing I was dead and buried somewhere, or at least had on a decent shirt. Again, 2 of our questions are sandwiched right next to each other perfectly for us to answer. Number 2, why does she say it's not personal? What's motivating her to say that? Let's think about it. So if we look in the text on page 40, I would definitely cite talking about if you see me at hall or someplace and I don't say hi, it's not personal. You might even want to copy and paste where it says you're a nice boy and everything. So Cherry says it's not personal to try to protect Pony's feelings, right? She wants him to know, I like you. But she's also trying to tell him that we're from 2 different worlds. I can't, be associated with you. So she says it's not personal to protect his feelings. But no matter what she says here, right? Saying it's not personal is always going to be a hurtful statement. All right, and then the other one that just popped out of nowhere, it just came up. I wished I was dead and buried somewhere. Number 3. If you're going to cite text evidence for this, I would definitely quote the end of that sentence, or at least had on a decent shirt. We know that Pony does not want to literally be dead and buried somewhere. Being dead and buried actually just means that Pony is feeling what? What emotion? I'll give you a second. Yell it out, like Dora the Explorer. He's feeling... I hear Meek Mill in the background. Embarrassed. Yes, he's feeling embarrassed that this popular, beautiful, wonderful girl that he has feelings for says, I'm not going to talk to you at school. Awesome. You did great, guys. Again, our text evidence, he's again worried about his clothing. We saw that in the last scene. When the socials pulled up, the first thing 2-Bit went for was to tuck in his shirt. That's how they make these boys feel. They feel like they look less than, like they're not enough, right? All right. So we answered 1, 2, and 3. I know with everything in you that you just want to turn this off right now, but we need to finish reading so that we're ready for tomorrow's questions and the exit ticket tomorrow. So if you could bear with me for a few more minutes and listen to my beautiful voice read you this wonderful tale, I would love it. I'd be so grateful for you. All right. He says, Cherry, we aren't in the same class. Just don't forget, some of us watch the sunset too. She looked at me quickly. I could fall in love with Dallas Winston, she said. I hope I never see him again, or I will. So after she just dug a knife into his heart, saying, I can't talk to you at school, she twists it a little bit and tells Pony, I could get feelings for Dallas, his friend. What? Cherry took a turn here. Not being my favorite character right now. I could fall in love with Dallas Winston, she said. I hope I never see him again, or I will. She left me standing there with my mouth dropped open, and the blue Mustang roomed off. We walked on home, mostly in silence. I asked Johnny if those were the same socials that had beat him up, but... I wanted to ask Johnny if those were the same socials that had beat him up, but I didn't mention it. Johnny never talked about it, and we never said anything. Well, those were 2 good-looking girls if I ever saw any, 2-Bit yawned, as we sat down on a curb at the vacant lot. So they're in this empty lot, maybe like a parking lot, an empty space right now, just sitting. It's really late at night. He took a piece of paper out of his pocket and he tore it up. What was that? Marcia's number. Probably a phony one too. I must have been out of my mind to ask for it. Think I'm a little soused. So he'd been drinking. Two-Bit was smart. He knew the score. Y'all going home? He asked. Not right now, I said. I wanted to have another smoke and to watch the stars. I had to be in by 12, but I thought I had plenty of time. I don't know why I handed you that busted bottle, Two-Bit said, getting to his feet. You'd never use it. Ooh, poor Pony. Now his friends are calling him a punk. Maybe I would have, I said. Where are you headed? I'm gonna go play a little snooker and hunt up a poker game. Maybe get rip-roaring drunk, I don't know. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Johnny and I stretched out on our backs and looked at the stars. I was freezing. It was a cold night and all I had on was a sweatshirt, but I could watch the stars in sub-zero weather. I saw Johnny's cigarette glowing in the dark and I wondered vaguely what it was like inside a burning ember. It was because we're greasers, Johnny said. I knew he was talking about Cherry. We could have hurt her reputation. I reckon, I said, wondering if I ought to tell Johnny what she had said about Dallas. Man, that was a tough car. Mustangs are tough. Big time socials, all right, I said, getting a bit nervous. I said, a nervous bitterness growing inside of me. It wasn't fair for the socials to have everything. We were as good as they were. It wasn't our fault we were greasers. I couldn't just take it or leave it like Two-Bit, or ignore it and love my life anyway like Soda Pop, or harden myself beyond caring like Dally, or actually enjoy it like Tim Shepard. I felt tension growing inside of me and I knew something had to happen or I was going to explode. I can't take much more. Johnny spoke my feelings. I'll kill myself or something. Don't, I said, sitting up in alarm. You can't kill yourself, Johnny. Well, I won't, but I gotta do something. It seems like there's gotta be some place without greasers or socias or just people. Just plain, ordinary people. Out of the big towns, I said, lying back down. In the country. In the country. I love the country. I wanted to be out of towns and away from excitement. I only wanted to lie on my back under a tree and read a good book, draw a picture, not worry about being jumped or carrying a blade or ending up married to some scatterbrained broad with no sense. Country would be like that, I thought dreamily. I would have a yeller cur dog like I used to, and Soda Pop could get Mickey Mouse back and ride in all the rodeos he wanted to. And Derry would lose that cold, hard look and be like he used to be 8 months ago before Mom and Dad were killed. Since I was dreaming, I brought Mom and Dad back to life. Mom could bake some more chocolate cakes, and Dad would drive the pickup early to feed the cattle. He would slap Derry on the back and tell him that he was getting to be a man, a regular chip off the old block. And they would be as close as they used to be. Maybe Johnny would come and live with us. And the gang would come on weekends. And maybe Dallas would see that there was some good in the world after all. And Mom would talk to him and make him grin in spite of himself. You've got quite the mom, Dally used to say. She knows the score. She could talk to Dallas and keep him from getting into trouble. My mother was golden and beautiful. Pony boy, Johnny was shaking me. Hey, Pony, wake up. I sat up shivering. The stars had moved. Glory, what time is it? I don't know. I went to sleep too, listening to you rattle on. You better get home. I think I'll stay out here all night. Johnny's parents didn't care if he came home or not. Okay, I yawned. Gosh, it was cold. You get cold or something, come over to our house. Okay. I am going to stop here because this next part is good. But this is where we'll start reading tomorrow in our video. Thanks for staying and listening for a little bit. I know this was about 5 minutes longer than normal. Love you, mean it. Check in with me today. Send me a message on Remind. And yeah, miss you. See you tomorrow.